Portions of the following program may have been pre-recorded.
The following programs, views, claims, or ideas may not reflect those of WSRR Radio or WSRRradio.com. Viewer discretion is advised.
And now, we take you behind enemy lines with Lucas DeRazio and Dom Ferro on WSRR Radio.
All Browns fans will go to heaven where football season's never ending. The leaves have changed, smell it in the air. Where every morning is a Sunday morning, the grill is firing and the drinks are pouring. All Browns fans will go to heaven and our motel can go to hell.
Welcome to another episode of Behind Enemy Lines right here on WSRR Radio, nationally local, meaning we play your local bands on a national stage, coast to coast. I'm Lucas DeRazio, joined as always by Dom Ferro right here on WSRR Radio. We are recording on Thursday, July 29th at 5:47 p.m. So this is going to be a pretty up-to-date episode. You like to see these Thursday afternoon recordings from us. And you are listening on Friday morning, July 24th at 10 a.m. right here on WSRR Radio if you're getting it as up-to-date as you possibly can. Dom, we've got a little bit of sports talk, some international sports talk to cover this week. Let's see what all happened since we've last met and been together. The FIFA World Cup came to an end as Spain defeated Argentina. Lionel Messi unable to get the job done. Argentina came from behind so many times in this tournament. I thought they were going to do it one more time against Spain, but Lamine Yamal and the Spaniards held him off.
Yeah, kind of shocking to see no goals from Argentina. They were the hottest team,
Yeah.
And then this game was very boring. I think the same day or the day before, England and France played for third place. That was like a 6-4 shootout. That one seemed like a more electric game to watch. But yeah, Lamine Yamal, also a guy who didn't score at all during the tournament, I'm pretty sure. So, but it's cool to see him get his first World Cup win as an 18-year-old. It's pretty crazy. It's passing of a torch moment, kind of. So, overall, it was a good World Cup. Cool to see it in North America. I think that was the best part for me. I'd like to see it here again, for sure.
Yeah, it seemed everyone was really bought into the World Cup this year, at least more than I can remember in the last few World Cups, I feel like. And I think that obviously a huge part of that was because it was in America, and like we're kind of almost being forced to be invested in it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm glad that people were invested in it, and I would have been a little bit too, even if it wasn't in America. But like, how much less talk do you think there would have been about the World Cup and soccer this year if it wasn't in America?
I mean, it just has to be in a place that has like great culture, because the last World Cup was in Qatar, and they basically like built everything there just for the World Cup. And then there was a lot of like other bad things that came out about like how they made the stadiums and stuff. Like I think a lot of people died building them, so that just wasn't cool. But I remember like it was in Brazil before, and I feel like that was a pretty cool environment. So it's just based on where it is.
That was the first World Cup that I really like remember that I feel like I was like, whoa, this is a huge event. And this is like, that was the first time I ever was even the slightest bit interested in soccer, in all honesty, was when it was in Brazil.
I feel like there was one in South Africa. Am I making that up?
Yeah, I think that was when what's her name? Shakira made that song about Africa.
Yeah, it was 2010. That was the first one I remembered, because I remember they all played like that horn. So that was...
the Vuvuzelas, yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty memorable. But then in 2018...
That was 2010 that was in South Africa?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, and then 14 was in Brazil, and then 18 was what?
18 was Russia. So it's like,
that's right.
Come on. What are we... It's got to be in really cool places.
Was America really cool to you, or no? Are you saying that it could have been better?
No, I thought it was great. Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. I thought the coolest environment was the Mexican stadium.
What was with that? Like, why did we have to do it across 3 different countries? Like, as if there's not enough like huge stadiums in America.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how many stadiums they usually do it at, but like, I could name, I'm sure probably 10, 15, 20 stadiums need to be part of it. I'm sure I can name 10, 15, 20 stadiums that are in America that could have held a World Cup.
Yeah. Well, I was also thinking like the Olympics is coming to the U.S. Was it 2028? I think.
Yeah, and that's all in LA.
Oh, I thought it was like across the United States.
I'm pretty sure it's the LA Olympics.
Just LA.
Now, I'm
okay,
sure,
that's good.
Now I think that's where it'll be based, and there might be some stuff in some other parts of America, I think maybe, but I'm pretty sure it's like primarily in Los Angeles.
Okay, that's definitely good to hear. Yeah, I'd like to see it more like in a centralized place. But the US is so big and we do have so many great stadiums. Like you're right, it could have just been the United States. But like I said, the Mexican stadium was probably the coolest one.
Yeah, it was. I agree, but that's what I mean though. Like, why didn't they just have like? Is there not enough stadiums in Mexico to just do like a Mexican World Cup?
Probably not.
No, okay.
I don't know. It's a good question. But like Canada,
well, then I won't press
how many,
any further.
I don't even know what a stadium they did it in Canada.
I think they were in Toronto or something. I don't know.
I don't even.
That's all we get.
I just don't. I don't even know what team it could possibly be for. Canada definitely doesn't have enough stadiums to do a World Cup. I feel like.
And Canada's not even like a. I mean,
not even
I
soccer
feel like
people.
Canada's even less of a soccer country than the United States is.
Yeah, I completely agree. Canada, you could have just left them out. It could have just been the U.S. and Mexico. I think everyone would have been fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, and I was thinking about it too. Like, if you wanted to go, like, obviously they wouldn't do this for like people traveling and all these things, but like, if you wanted to go purely like just for the stadiums of the World Cup, like, could you imagine? Like, I was just thinking them doing it at college football stadiums, like Penn State, Ohio State, Nebraska, like the biggest stadiums. You know, I mean, hey, even Michigan, the Big House, like they could have just done it where the most people could see it as possible, but obviously then it's not quite the same. But I did see there was a lot of talk about like the environment of football in America and like how in England and like the Premier League they have like the football chants and all the fans know these chants and they all get into it and they have all these chants and like they were kind of trying to bring that to America during the World Cup and like people were trying to have like American chants and stuff. And I saw a lot of talk on like Twitter and TikTok and stuff of like America has such great sports culture around like college football and stuff. Like there should be a marching band for the U.S. men's national team to like be playing the college football like classics during the game and during dead balls and after they score. And then like someone superimposed that like over highlights of the U.S. men's national team. And it was absolutely electric. Like I think they need to embrace the United States like sports culture more if they really, really wanted to get the United States into soccer the way that they clearly do.
Yeah, but how do you get a full band into the stadium?
What do you mean? How do you get a full band?
Like
they can do it at what do you mean? They can do it at college football games.
I'm saying like if the next World Cup is in like let's say Spain, why are they just going to let a whole section for a band?
Well, yeah, I don't. Yeah, maybe not for the traveling. I don't know. I think that would be the way that America though, like for the MLS maybe or something like that. That's the way to get America more into it is have these pro teams or whatever have marching bands and college teams too. Like that's another thing that I think that is a big reason that the United States isn't as big into soccer is because college soccer isn't big. Mm-hmm. And now it's hard to be because any good college player is going to sign to a professional team when they're 18, 19, whatever it is. But I think we need to get like college bands, marching bands at the soccer games. I think that would be, I understand maybe like for soccer purists, it's like taking away from a culture that they have and you're trying to impose your own on. But like, you kind of just have to embrace what we've got around us, right?
Yeah, I'm not too against that. I'd like to see it more in basketball, college basketball, high school basketball games. I think a marching band in those arenas is always great.
Yeah, they have marching bands in college basketball, right?
Yeah, but we need everyone to have them.
A pep band?
Yeah.
Some teams have like the pep band where it's a little smaller. I know Duquesne did.
Yeah,
The
but
Dukes always had the pep band out.
they didn't have it. They didn't have it every time. They only bring it out for
No,
the
they
big
didn't?
games. I feel like.
Very interesting. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly. Everything was weird at Duquesne. I remember the first college football game I ever had. We had the pep band out, and I was like, "This is kind of sick." And then like the next game, they weren't there. And I was like, "What happened to the band?" That was
they
that
they
was
all dropped
rowdy,
out.
but exactly, they were just done with us after one game. But to get back to some American sports culture, we've got the NFL season quickly approaching. We're going to be doing some talks about some fantasy football things in the next couple of weeks. Mini camps are about to be starting. Before you know it, the preseason's going to be here, and then before you know it, the regular season's going to be here. You know this is a football-centric show, so let's talk about some football. We've got our annual overs and unders for the season win totals. We did this last year. We kept track of it through the season, saw how many we hit and didn't. I don't know what the final numbers on them were last year, but it's a fun thing to look at through the year, especially right around now when, especially at the end of the season, it's good to look at these and compare them to, what we thought these teams were going to be at the beginning of the season and how wrong we were, how right we were. So these lines are out now. We're going off rotowire.com, but they have DraftKings over and under totals for total wins for every NFL team. And Dom, I think we'll start at the bottom the same way we did last year. Are you going to keep a running total of these, and we can go back at the end of the season and compare and see what we got right and wrong?
Yeah, for sure. And last year I did the same, and I don't have like the exact numbers in front of me, but I know you did have more right than I did. We had some big picks, we had some big misses as well. But I think we've learned from our mistakes. I think this year we're gonna get them all right. Honestly, I'm seeing the board pretty clear right now.
I don't think there's a chance we get any wrong. I do remember my one big triumph of last year was I remember a lot of people hating on the Seahawks going into the year, and I was like, I think the Seahawks are going to be better than they were last year. And people were like, well, they lost Geno and have Darnold now, and then they lost DK, and now they have what's his name? Now I'm blanking on his name, Cooper Kupp. And I was like, well, I mean, honestly, I think Darnold's an upgrade at quarterback, and I don't think Kupp's that much of a downgrade. And look at them. They won the Super Bowl. So this is the show to listen to if you want to maybe put in a futures bet on Super Bowl guys and different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we can start at the very bottom. I don't know if anyone had the line of 4.5 last year at the beginning of the season, but this season, two different teams, their lines start at 4.5, the Arizona Cardinals and the Miami Dolphins, Dom. What do you think about these two teams?
Dolphins is one that interests me a lot. But unfortunately, I think you have to take the under here just because, like, I can't name a wide receiver on that team. You lost Tyreek Hill.
After Waddle goes away. Yeah,
you
Tyreek Hill.
You lose both those guys, and it's a pretty abysmal scene. Of course, you still have A-Chain. You get Malik Willis coming in to freshen some things up, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think they're still pretty far away from being a good team. They might even be worse than last season. This team just reminds me of like the Jets. Might even be worse than the Jets last year. Like they're going to be reliant too much on their running back, and it's not going to be enough. So I'm going to take the under on Miami for sure.
This is one of those this is one of the times of the year where like you're playing all the NFL like stat games that you can find, like your friends start sending them to you, the 17-0 games, the build a quarterback game. There's a ton of them that when I'm bored, I'll like play on them, whatever at work. Every single time that I spin and I get either the Dolphins or the Cardinals, both times I'm like, oh my God, I'm screwed. Cardinals, you get like one pick out of each of them. Cardinals, you can pick Trey McBride at tight end. Dolphins, you can pick Achane at running back. Cardinals maybe have a little bit more, but Dolphins, I feel like it's hard to say under 4.5 because only one or two teams are down there every year. But the Dolphins are going to be the team. Like you said, I couldn't really name a receiver on that team right now. Achane and Malik Willis are the two like standout players that you're looking forward to, and I think they can be somewhat fun at some points, but I don't think this team's going to win anything. I'm going to go under on that one as well. Cardinals at 4.5. I mean, their starting quarterback competition is between Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew, and Carson Beck right now. And I don't think any of those three guys give the Cardinals a great chance to win over 6 games, but I might have to take the over 4.5 because you look at they got Michael Wilson, they got Marvin Harrison Jr., they got Trey McBride. I don't really know a ton about what's going on the defensive side of the ball, but they could at least be somewhat fun. Jeremiah Love now in the backfield as well. I think if I had to, last year I wanted to take an over and an under for like every number line there was. I might take the Cardinals over 4.5. I might have to do it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I like the over a lot as well here.
You do? Okay.
Jacoby Brissett, like he'll win games. He'll find ways to win games. He's a veteran. He's been here long enough. He'll scrap together something. And like you said, Jeremiah Love adding to that backfield that's already pretty good with James Conner. And then the weapons, you have Marvin Harrison Jr., who I think, I don't know if it might be a last chance for him to take that next step in his career. Like he's gotta show something extra this year. He's been lacking a bit, I think, so far in his career. But Trey McBride, like one of the best, if not the best tight end. So they're gonna find ways to win. 4.5. It's gonna be close. Like I think they'll win 5 games, 5-6, like you said. I think is their ceiling. But I'll take the over on the Cardinals.
All right, now it depends too. What if Carson Beck comes in and he's okay? Like,
yeah,
you never really know. That's another thing to come out of there. I like their over. I feel like Marvin Harrison Jr. like he's shown some serious flashes, but like inconsistent quarterback play. Kyler Murray was hurt for a lot of his time there. Like you said, they've had Jacoby Brissett. I don't think he's had a ton. I could see him going to another team. And being a big help to another offense. Maybe he even if they're doing really bad gets traded right before the trade deadline. So we'll see what happens in Arizona. But I'll take the over on them. They're a somewhat fun team to root for. I don't love their uniforms, so that hurts sometimes on the fun to root for scale.
But you love those alternates.
The alternates are good. I do like the sand desert uniforms. But moving up to the 5.5 line, there's 2 more teams here. The Raiders, which I think gets spicy and kind of is tough to decide which side of the over-under you want to go on there. And then the Jets, who are at 5.5. Jets, I'm hammering the under on. They haven't done anything that's excited me this year. They've got Garrett Wilson as really their like one guy who's like a standout playmaker on that offense. I'm not sold on Breece Hall as much as everyone else is. I think he's a really good fantasy back, but he's not a guy that I think I'm not ready to put 2-3 wins additionally on their team because of Breece Hall.
Yeah, I'm kind of a Breece guy, but I'm also going to agree with you on the under here. And the big reason is Geno Smith. He was with the Seahawks. He was pretty good. He was a really solid quarterback. And if it was that same quarterback, I'd probably say the over 5.5. But last season with the Raiders was horrible. And yeah, you could say he was in an awful situation, whatever. But in my opinion, I just don't see him getting back to that Seahawks level. I see him kind of playing at a similar level to what he was doing last year in Vegas with the Raiders. So I agree with you. Under 5.5 is pretty easy with the Jets here.
And Geno Smith doesn't have nearly the weapons that he had either when he was with the Seahawks. I mean, at that time they had DK, and Tyler Lockett. They had some weapons around him. Now the Jets do sign or they draft Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon. He could be exciting on the offense. Like I said, they have Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, but there's it's not enough for me. I'd go under on that. The Raiders are interesting because again, it's a rookie quarterback where it's like, what if Mendoza just steps in and he's the franchise guy right away, and they do some things, and they got Genty and Bowers, maybe they can get it together. But at 5.5, once you get to 6+ wins with a rookie quarterback, like that's a pretty successful season, and I don't know if they have enough around him other than Bowers and Genty to get to 6 wins. That's where I feel like it might be tough, just the depth of this team.
Yeah, and if the division was easier, maybe I could go over. It is really close. They'll probably get 5 to 6 wins. but I'm pretty comfortable saying under here.
All right, I'll stick with the under on you on that one as well. Now, going back to the Jets super quickly, again, another thing with like a rookie quarterback, like I said for the Cardinals, what if Carson Beck's good? Like, what if the Jets put Cade Klubnik in there and he's just like, it's like, oh, okay, like we gotta steal out of him at this guy. I mean, he looked good for a few years in primetime football in college. His senior year was very bad for Clemson, but like that's a guy who is kind of an X factor. You throw into that season, it's like, well, what if this guy just shows up? That's kind of the devil's advocate. But I still think I'm going to say under for both of these teams, the Raiders and Jets, both at under 5.5. Stick with us through the break. We're going to run through all 32 NFL teams and their over and under lines for total wins on the season. The next team up is the Browns, so stick with us here through the break on WSRR Radio.
Based out of Chicago, Synergy Music Studio is built for artists who care about the sound of their music. From recording, mixing, and mastering to full production and live studio sessions, Synergy works hands-on to help artists turn ideas into finished professional releases. They support the Chicago scene and they welcome new artists anytime. If you're serious about your sound, start at synergymusicstudio.com today.
Independent music has always been about doing things your own way, not cutting corners, not chasing trends, and definitely not handing everything off to someone who doesn't care about the end result. That's where Hellbender Vinyl comes in. Hellbender Vinyl is Pittsburgh's first and only custom vinyl record pressing plant trusted by artists across the country. They work hands-on with independent musicians to make sure each release sounds right and feels right start to finish. Every project includes 5 free test presses, so quality isn't a guessing game, it's built right into the process. So, if you're serious about your music and how it's released, don't settle for disposable formats. Press it with Hellbender Vinyl. Hellbent on quality, hellbent on service, hellbendervinyl.com.
Calling it like they see it. Lucas and Dom are back on WSRR Radio.
Welcome back to Behind Enemy Lines right here on WSRR Radio, brought to you by our proud partner at Hellbender Vinyl. Hellbender, Pittsburgh's first and only custom vinyl record pressing plant, perfect for the local and independent artists just like the ones we play here at WSRR Radio. The ones who want to take their album release to the next level, don't settle for a bunch of ones and zeros floating around the internet. Have a physical album release with Hellbender Vinyl. Hellbent on quality, hellbent on service, hellbendervinyl.com. We are here discussing the overs and unders for total team wins of every team in the NFL, gearing up for the 2026 NFL season. We've gotten through the lowest of the lows in the league, the lines that were at 4.5 and 5.5. Now we're bumping up to the 6.5 range, and the first team that RotoWire NFL has listed at 6.5 is the Cleveland Browns. The odds on it are plus 105 for the over and minus 120 for the under. And I think I'm going to hammer the under on this. I do think the Browns are moving in the right direction. I've said it before. I think they've got some interesting and some fun and some intriguing draft picks over the last 2 years. They're moving in the right direction. Barry's making the right moves thus far, but we don't have a quarterback yet. And I think that the defense is going to take a step back, just a small step back with the loss of Myles Garrett. I think in the long run, it's going to be good having Verse in there rather than Myles Garrett. The ages are going to line up better. I've talked about this a little bit on this show in the past, but for this year, I don't think there's a chance they get to 7 wins. I don't think I hate to be the Debbie Downer that you hear of so much in Cleveland sports talk. But I don't think there's a chance they sniff 7 wins.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said here.
Really? Because last year you were the one who was pounding the table saying, no, the Browns are going to be over 5.5.
Yep. And I was just looking back at last year's over-under. Last segment you asked, was there anyone that said over-under 4.5? There wasn't anybody at that. So that's something new this year. And then, like you said, Browns last year was over under 5.5. I hammered the over. You took the under. So you were right in that one. And, losing Myles Garrett, that's massive. And to say that they're like 2 to 3 wins better, it's just there's just no world where that's a chance. And you mentioned that they have no quarterback. That's another great point. Like, everything you said is true. Them getting to 7 wins would be nothing short of a miracle.
All right, well, now I don't like the way that you said it, and now I feel like I have to argue for the Browns' backs. I have to say that there's a chance that they get to 7. I said they don't even sniff it 2 seconds ago, but now that you said it as a Steelers fan, and I know that you have your Troy Polamalu jersey up in your office, I know that upsets me, and now I'm saying Quinshon Judkins is into his second year, Fannon's in his second year, we revamped the O-line, Dylan Sampson, another, threat out of the backfield. They bring in Concepcion. They bring in Boston. It's going to let, I don't love Jerry Jeudy. I've never been a huge Jerry Jeudy fan, but it will open up some opportunities for him to not have to be that number one. I think there's a chance. I wouldn't say there's no world in which they get to 7, but I don't think that that world is this world.
They're good.
I'm going to take the under.
They're a good young team. Is Judkins going to be ready week 1?
I don't know about that. I think he'll play the majority of the season.
And the rookie wide receivers, I'm really interested to see them. I think they're going to be great. If it's Shador Sanders, winning 7 games with him is, I just don't see it happen. I like the Browns' future a lot.
Yeah. That's the biggest glaring spot is the quarterback position, and that's also the most important spot in the sport. The other 2 teams that are at 6.5 are the Tennessee Titans and the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons, I'm curious to see what they were at last year, if you have that down anywhere, Dom.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they might have been in like the 8 or 9 range.
They were 8.5,
year.
and we took the over on them, which did not hit.
Wow, what'd they finish last year? Like 7 and 10?
I don't have that
something like
in
that
front of me, but yeah, probably. I think 7. They won 7.
Falcons are at 6.5.
They won 8. They won 8.
This is a tough one. I mean, I think the uncertainty in the quarterback room is gonna hurt them, even if it's nice to have like the quarterback depth. I feel like the fact that they're gonna have 2 guys that are honestly very, very similar. They're both undersized, skinny lefties who are decently mobile, but not amazingly mobile, and have pretty good arms, but not, jump off the page, wow you arms, generational arms in any aspect. I think that the fact that they're so similar and have such similar play is going to hurt a lot, because like there's always going to be the talk of, are they going to bring the next guy in? It's tough for a quarterback to play in that environment, either one way or the other. And I want to take the over. I want to like the Falcons, especially when they got my guy Dylan Drummond on the team right now, a good friend of mine at wide receiver. But I think I'm going to have to take the under. I could see them getting exactly to 6, but I don't know about getting over the hump of 7. Now, of course, I mean, you got Bijan Robinson in the backfield, Kyle Pitts, Drake London. They have weapons, but it is tough. Oh, man, I want to go back on that now. You know what? I'll take the over, because there's 3 teams at 6.5, and I got to take one of them for the over, and I'm not taking the Titans. So I'll take the Falcons at 7 wins, get over 6.5.
Yeah, Falcons is tough. The way that they rattled off like 4 or 5 wins in a row last year to stay in the hunt, to almost win that division. I think they showed that they had something. They're building something, and you can't count out Bijan Robinson. The quarterback situation is questionable, but I think 7 to 8 wins is definitely possible. They'll be competing in this division. So
another thing we didn't talk about, I mean, the biggest, we talked about one acquisition that they had this offseason, Tua, but the biggest acquisition is a new head coach, Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah.
Almost called him Kyle. Kevin Stefanski joins the Falcons as their new head coach. I think he's going to give them some juice. I think, getting out of Cleveland might be the career revamp that he needs at this time. Once you get into like your second head coaching job too, like you kind of can use that past experience to be like, everything that I didn't like that I did, I can do it better this time. I like them for over 6.5.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's saying Stefanski's a bad coach. He's gonna have this organization looking right.
All right, and then next to the Titans, 6.5. I'll take the under on this one. Again, another team that is fun. I think they can be good soon. I don't think it would shock anyone if they're a playoff team in 2-3 years, but they're not ready yet. Carnell Tate's a lot of fun. Tony Pollard still is a very productive back. Cam Ward has all the talent in the world. They bring in Wan'Dale Robinson as well. They still have DK also at receiver. They've got some fun stuff, but they're just not ready yet. I'll take the under on their 6.5.
Yeah, I can't go over 6.5 for them. I want to because they are a fun young team, but they're not there yet. I agree with you. I'm gonna take the under on them.
Both of those teams also new jerseys this year. That always gives the players a little bit of a boost, a little bit of a morale boost, and maybe gives the organization a boost in record. But I'll still stick with the under on the Titans. The Indianapolis Colts are the first team that cracked the 7.5 win over and under line. This is an interesting one because they were so good at the beginning of last year. They fell off a cliff near the end of the year. Can Daniel Jones return from injury and return to the play that he did, that he was at the beginning of last year? I don't know. That's kind of the biggest question for me. They also lose Michael Pittman to your Pittsburgh Steelers. 7.5 is an interesting number for the Colts, and I might have to take the under for it.
I'm going to take the over 7.5. I like kind of what they're building, but it is a ticking time bomb. You have Jonathan Taylor, who still looks great, but is aging. Daniel Jones, you don't really know what you're going to get, but the way that he played last year makes me believe that they're going to be a winning team again. Adding Sauce Gardner on the defensive side, that guy's never played for a winning team in his career, but I think this time he's gonna make some impact on the defensive side. So I'll take over 7.5.
What about in college? He played for Cincinnati. Since he was pretty good when he was there.
Since he was, I'm talking NFL. NFL.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he went to the Colts, who are like 8-1 or something. And then they may have won one game the rest of the season.
The next team on the 7.5 list is the Commanders, which I think is interesting because 2 years ago they were in the NFC Championship game. Like people kind of forget that almost. Like with a rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels, entering year 3. Obviously, last year we didn't get to see a ton of Jaden Daniels because he was injured a lot. That's a very interesting fall off. I'd be curious if you have that number, Dom, what their line was last season, because again they were just in the NFC Championship 2 seasons ago. But 7.5 for the Commanders after bringing in Sonny Styles. That was kind of their big acquisition through the draft this year. They do have some stuff. They got some stuff going right for them. That division's tough. The Eagles, the Giants, the Cowboys. Oh man, this one's. I feel like they're gonna have either 7 or 8 wins. What are you thinking, Dom? Commanders at 7.5.
So last year they were at 9.5 wins. That doesn't really play much into how I'm thinking, but I think Jaden Daniels does have a bounce back season. If he can stay healthy, I think it's easy over for them. The defense is much upgraded. They made some big moves in the offseason. I still trust Dan Quinn as the head coach. I think they're going to be just fine, if not really good. Take the over 7.5.
All right, I'll just hop on your wave, and I'll hop on the over with you. Carolina Panthers are the next one at 7.5, and this is interesting because again they were in such a bad division with the Saints, the Falcons themselves. It's tough because they were a playoff team last year and they showed some really good flashes. And I don't want to bet against Bryce Young because I like Bryce Young. I want Bryce Young to do well, but again, have they shown enough? I'll take the over for the Panthers. That'll be. I'll give them 9 wins. Again, rough division with the Buccaneers, Saints, and Falcons. I'll give him 9.
I don't know if I'm going to give him 9, but I'll give him 8, and that's enough for the over. I'm a Ted McMillan guy. I think the offense is going to be.
Oh, you're a huge Ted McMillan guy.
I think the offense is going to be pretty electric for the Panthers and much upgraded. I'm excited to see what Bryce Young can do with some more weapons.
Now, another team at 7.5 that I just briefly mentioned, another team in the Panthers division, the New Orleans Saints. Now, I think this is an interesting team because you look at them and they didn't do really a ton besides add Jordan Tyson in the draft that like hops off the paper that you're like, oh, that's a huge move. But the buzz around Tyler Shuck is real. Like people think that he can be the guy. This offseason, the Tyler Shuck PR team has been putting in overtime. I feel like, I don't know if it's TikTok edits or what, but like people are high on Tyler Shuck, and I think that he can, he very well could lead them to a division title.
Yeah, I mean, the whole division is going to be around 8 wins. Like, I kind of wanted to do that, like, have everyone in that division, like, right at 8 wins. But the Saints, I just can't. I'm not giving them 8 wins. I'm taking the under on them.
Okay.
I'm excited to
I'll
see
take the
Jordan
over on
Tyson,
them.
though.
I'll take the over on the Saints just because I want to disagree with you, 1. And 2, I think the next team you're going to take the over on, but I'm not. It's the New York Giants at 7.5. I'm not sold enough on Jackson Dart. Everyone is really excited on the Giants now. Everything else around them, they got a new coach in John Harbaugh, who's obviously a very, very experienced coach and has won a lot of games, especially regular season games, which is what we're talking about. We're not talking about if they're going to win a playoff game because Harbaugh has struggled in the playoffs, especially the last few years. We're talking about how many regular season games they're going to win. So that would be a reason that maybe I need to backtrack a little bit. They had Isaiah Likely as well. We'll see what happens with Cam Scadaboo. But I'm just not sold enough on Jackson Dart. I know their front seven looks amazing and all that as well in New York. But Jackson Dart, to me, like I said, I need to take one more under 7.5 team. There's 5 of them listed here. And I feel like I said over on too many of them. So I'm going to say under for the Giants.
Yeah, Giants is a tough one. I'm not sold on Jackson Dart either. And everything I've seen from the Giants this offseason is not made me think that they're going to do well this season. Like just this week, there's a video of Cam Scadaboo doing a backflip who, had a bad injury last season. Probably shouldn't be just doing backflips on a concert stage. And then I don't know if you saw this one, but John Harbaugh was like talking to the team. He's like, this is the New York Giants. This is the New York Giants. How can you not be fired up? And it did not get me fired up. It did not get me ready to run through a brick wall for him. It was just a bad look for Harbaugh. So I think Harbaugh may have lost his fastball.
You didn't like him hyping up the franchise?
You got to see the video to understand it. It wasn't passionate enough. So
I'll have to look it up in the break quickly.
So we're taking the under here.
I'm saying under for the Giants. Are we both taking that?
Yeah, I think we have to.
I would have thought you were on the Giants. I thought you were going to be on Big Blue's back for some reason. I don't know why.
I want the Giants to be good.
You're going under as well.
I want the Giants to be good just so Ravens fans can be like mad like that what they lost out on. But unfortunately, they might be right. Like Harbaugh, he might not have it anymore. That's a tough division too.
It is a tough division. From one tough division to another one, the Vikings are the first team to crack the 8.5. And I'm going over on this. I'm hammering the over. Great defense. Brian Flores back at DC. I think that Kyler Murray is going to really excel here. Again, it's another guy who's like going to his second team. And I know I said it earlier for Kevin Stefanski as a head coach, but like I feel like when you get that opportunity to go to a new team, you kind of do things differently when that you didn't like the way you did it at your previous organization, that type of vibe. And I think that Kyler Murray now, like, he's older, he's more experienced, he knows what he needs to do, and he really doesn't need to do a ton. He's got the best receiver in the game in Justin Jefferson. They've got a solid run game. They've got a great defense. I think the Vikings not only are going to go over 8.5, but I think they could be a sneaky Super Bowl contender, honestly.
I think the Vikings are going to have a really good regular season. But I don't agree with the Super Bowl thing. I think they're going to fall flat in the playoffs. I think this season's pretty predictable. I think Kyler Murray's going to have an amazing season, but I don't think they're going to win a playoff game. That's just my prediction. But I'll take the over for sure.
All right, going from saying they're not going to win a playoff game to a team that is notorious in the last couple of years for playing really well in the regular season and then not winning a playoff game. Your Pittsburgh Steelers also at 8.5. This is one, like, everything on paper says I want to take them at 8.5. I want to take them under 8.5, excuse me. But, like, I just can't imagine the Steelers having a losing season. Now, of course, McCarthy's in there now and not Tomlin. Aaron Rodgers is back. It would be weird, to see him on what's probably going to be his last season have a losing season. But it's hard for me to look at the Steelers roster and, with conviction say that they're going to win over 8.5 games.
You can't say that?
I can't. It's hard for me.
They have a really good roster.
Do they have a really good roster?
Yeah.
Adding Rico Dowdle helps a lot. They got Michael Pittman and DK, though.
The defense
I don't trust
is great.
Aaron Rodgers as much as they need. How is the defense great?
I mean, on paper it is.
Who's their second corner? Joey Porter Jr. is their first.
I mean, it's
man,
there's gonna be some.
Oh man, this guy must stink.
There's gonna be some decisions to be made in training camp. Let's just say that.
Okay, TJ Watt is aging and falling behind. They still have Highsmith and Herbig, which is, I think those guys are actually going to end up making more plays than TJ Watt this year.
Cam Hayward, of course.
Hayward's back.
Yeah,
of course. He'll never not be a Steeler. He'll never not be in the NFL.
Jalen Ramsey, of course, too.
Yes, of course, Jalen Ramsey at the safety position. I think that's big for them leadership-wise, but actually playing-wise, I'm not sure, how much he's still got it. I think there's some interesting additions for them. Again, it's just to take the Steelers under 8.5, like, for anyone who knows anything about the NFL, it, like, almost seems sacrilegious. But I want to, but I can't. I can't bring myself to do it because I just feel like I would look like an idiot at the end of the day.
Yeah, the Steelers are going to have a winning record. They're going to get over 8.5. The roster is better than last season. It's Rodgers' last dance. We have an offensive-minded head coach. I might be biased, but I'm taking the over easily.
Death, taxes, and the Steelers winning at least 9 games.
Right.
Stick with us here on WSRR Radio for our final segment and our final overs and unders heading into the 2026 season.
Nobody cares about the details, seriously. Not the logo, not the stitching, and not the tiny symbol that magically doubles the price of the t-shirt. Think about it. The shirt you're wearing right now and the one I'm wearing do the exact same job. They cover us, they keep us warm, and they stop us from being arrested for public indecency. The only difference is a swoosh, a rectangle, or a name that convinced you it was worth more money. That's where GenericClothes.com comes in. They skip the branding nonsense and get straight to the point. Shirts that literally say what they are. Sports team, political statement, music band. No hype, no pretending, just honesty and a sense of humor at the expense of big clothing brands. If you're tired of paying extra for a logo that nobody actually cares about, or you want the perfect gift for someone who actually gets the joke, head to GenericClothes.com. Nobody cares about the details. Get to the point.
Playing the ball where it lies. Lucas and Dom are back on WSRR Radio.
Welcome back to Behind Enemy Lines here on WSRR Radio. Before we get finished with these over and unders, these locks, we want to let you know that today's beautiful program is brought to you by YourBuddiesGarage.com. Your Buddies Garage sells a selection of salvage, used, and scrapped auto parts and accessories, perfect for a quick fix or first stop before the shop. Before you pay a pro, see what Your Buddies got at YourBuddiesGarage.com. Over and unders, picking up where we left off with the last 8.5. A bit of a speed round here. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 8.5. What are you feeling on that one, Lucas?
I don't know if we're going to get to everyone here because I think we talked about the World Cup and soccer for a little bit too long at the beginning. So we might have to go to the elite teams next season. We'll do a little or next week, excuse me. We'll do a little cliffhanger for that episode. But for the time being, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 8.5. Again, really bad division. You said it. I think everyone in that division is kind of going to be around the 7, 8, 9 win games. 7, 8, 9 wins seasons. And the Buccaneers are an interesting one. They've been atop the division for the most part. Last season they fell apart, but at the beginning of the season, Baker was playing at an MVP level. Oh man, this is a tough one. I'm gonna go under. I'll go under on the Buccaneers. They lose Mike Evans. That's like a no for them to lose Mike Evans, and they did it. You know, he's a Buccaneer. He should have been a Buccaneer for life. They lose it, so I'm gonna go under on them.
Might be the Mike Evans curse there. Last year Buccaneers were over 9.5. This year 8.5. So Vegas is kind of saying that they won't be the same. Last year I said the Buccaneers over was my lock of the year, and I was wrong on that one. So I apologize to all the listeners who took that. But I'm riding. I'm going back to this one. I'm taking the over on the Buccaneers. I think they're still a really good team. Yeah, you're going to be missing Mike Evans a little bit, but I don't think it'll be enough to where this team will be that much worse. I think they'll get to 9 wins.
So is it your lock of the year this year, though, or no?
I'm not going to make that my lock of the year yet. I'm holding that off for a little bit, yeah.
They finished 8-9 last year. Last team in the 8.5 range is the Jacksonville Jaguars, who I'm not like, they don't excite me. I feel like it would be stupid to take the under on them. I'll take the over, but they just don't excite me. They're in a bad division with them, the Texans, the Colts, and the Titans. So for that reason, like I think they'll get 5 wins in division. I'll take the over for them for that reason. But like there's nothing that excites me. They're not a Super Bowl contender. They're like a very middle of the road team, the Jaguars are.
Yeah. I agree. This is a tough one. Jaguars were so hot last year to at one point where I was kind of like, taking back my words about Trevor Lawrence being a mid quarterback. He looked really good at points last year. I think he'll look even better this year. Unfortunately, I just don't think they have very good weapons. Tight end Brenton Strange, wide receivers, a whole lot of nothing.
They're actually they're losing a wide receiver too because they said Travis Hunter was basically going to only play defense this upcoming year.
Yeah, and then the running back situation, you got a bunch of young guys in there, but no one who's really like stood out so far. I want to take the under, but I think Trevor Lawrence will have a really good season. So I'll be in agreement with you on that over 8.5.
Next one at 9.5. Interesting. The Dallas Cowboys. Caleb Downs was their big pickup in the draft this year. An absolute stud at safety out of Ohio State. Dak Prescott, he just keeps it going. I don't know who do they have at running back? Do they still have like Javonte Williams and?
I think so.
Yeah. They're an interesting team. They drafted a lot of defensive guys this year. They tried to pick up pretty much as many defensive guys as they could. That was Jerry Jones' prerogative going into the offseason. That was the word I'm going to go with, prerogative. 9.5. Seeing the Cowboys get to double-digit wins. Maybe as a Browns fan, like, it's just, your life is so sad and you've seen that so little times, but like anytime I see a team get to double-digit wins, I'm like, that's a great team. And it's obviously not a great team, but I think because every, almost half the league gets to 10 wins every year, basically. Cowboys at 10 wins, though, I'll give it to them. No, I'm going to give them the under. I'm looking at the other teams that are at 9.5, and I'm taking the under on the Cowboys at 9.5.
I'm going under as well. Like, they'll definitely have moments. They'll win games. That division is going to be very tough. 10 wins is a lot for the Cowboys. They'll probably get 8 or 9. The big thing for me is Pickens. Like, I don't think he cares about winning very much. I think he just wants the ball. So they're going to feed him no matter what. They have like the best wide receiver duo in the league, but it's not going to be enough. I'm going to take the under as well.
Cincinnati Bengals are the next team at 9.5. Another team that I'm tempted to say the under, but you look at the division, I think it's them and the Ravens. I'll take the over on the Bengals.
I'm taking the over as well. I think it's going to be a big bounce back for Joe Burrow. I think he's going to have a nice, healthy season. I think Bengals are going to be a scary team this year. It might be my lock of the year.
Next team at 9.5. I'm surprised this isn't your lock of the year. Your Chicago Bears. I know you're a huge Caleb Williams supporter. I think the Bears could be a team that come out and they start 7-0. I'm going to say the Bears are over 9.5 for sure. I could see them being a team that they come out and they're hot and they're just, it's after last season, the end of last season where Caleb Williams did some things where it's just he can do things that no one else can do. I think that they come out, they're going to be comfortable. Ben Johnson's second year, they're going to be really, really hot. I take the Bears over, and that might be my lock of the year.
Whoa. I like that take a lot. But before, and you almost sold me on, but before you said that, I think the Bears might go through some rough patches this year. I just don't think it's going to be perfect. You're losing DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, and Luther Burden are really going to need to step up. I trust in Ben Johnson. I think they're going to be really good. I can't make it my lock of the year, but over 9.5, I'm going to take that one.
Yeah, okay. I think they're going to hit some rough patches, but I think it might be later in the season. That'll be
I could definitely see them getting off to a really hot start. 8-0, that's a lot. I could see them 4-0, 5-0.
I think I said 7, but yeah, same difference. Chargers at 9.5. This is another one that I'm going to take the over on, and I think the big thing is a coach addition, Mike McDaniels at OC. I think that he's going to really thrive in this position under Harbaugh. He's going to be able to step back a little bit from being head coach, fully focus on the offense. He's got Justin Herbert to play with instead of Tua. I think that this is going to be a great spot for Mike McDaniels, and I think that the Chargers are going to be spectacular this year with him at the helm of OC. I'm taking the over for them at 9.5 as well.
I'm taking the over. They're a great team last year. I don't think they made enough moves in the offseason, but you have Herbert. You have another year under the belt of Omarion Hampton, who looked really good in the time when he wasn't injured last season. So I think the run game is going to be scary next year. And Mike McDaniels, I think he's going to thrive there as well. Over 9.5. I'll hammer that.
We have 12 teams remaining on this over and under list, and you guys are going to have to join us next week right here on Behind Enemy Lines to get those numbers. We're going to be getting into the real elites of the elites in the NFL. There's 3 left on the 9.5 over and under lines, and then we're into the double digits. We've got 9 different teams that are at 10 or 11.5 for their total wins. So stick with us next week. Please join us, because if you don't join us next week, you're giving away free money if you want to bet on these over and unders, because we're going to be giving you all the locks that you'll need for the 2026 season. So thank you for joining us here on Behind Enemy Lines on WSRR Radio.
Peace.
The preceding program was a sponsored production. The views, claims, and ideas expressed may not represent those of WSRR Radio.